Hello friends on Facebook. Welcome to another stretching session. My name is Jonathan Sugai, and this is day 3 of the stay at home in Hawaii. And it might be a different day for wherever you are, wherever you're tuning in from. But since we're being given the gift of time to be able to stay home, as my former girlfriend had said to me, and she was actually sharing a quote from Ray Kroc: "If you've got time to lean, it's time to clean." So I've heard of many people taking advantage of the time by cleaning up their spaces, doing decluttering. Another way we can clean is actually to take care of ourselves, do some self-care. And so we can do physical things, we can do emotional cleaning. We can do planning, because a lot of things are changing, so we can start to really take a look at this situation. How can we make the best of it? And one of the wisest questions is to be able to ask, how is this challenge? And you get more clear on what the challenge is. How is it benefiting? What is the opportunity in it? How can we make some changes that maybe we weren't even considering because of the old paradigms, the old ways of doing things? What can we do? How can we take advantage of it? Because in every crisis, there's an opportunity. And so the more we can stay centered and keep asking the question, because it's there if we look, and questions are designed to bring the unconscious conscious. It's ions on a quest, positive and negative, on a quest to find the center. Those are some of the things you can do to make the best and make the most of the time we've been given. But for today, I want to share with you again my stretches that I've been teaching to my clients and I use personally. This is a special system of stretches that I've been using in my massage practice. I've been practicing massage for 20 years. I've been in personal development for the last 7-8 years. And these stretches are really great stretches that really make a difference for my clients, because when they come in, I do shiatsu, which is Japanese acupressure. They come in with really intense trigger points in their neck, their arms, shoulders, legs, and back. And especially when they come in all tense, it's a lot of stress that has been loading in their body. And so early in my massage career, I would just do the body work and do the massage, and people would breathe and be real intense and release it. And then in the last few years, because my own body was getting so intense, especially my neck was just so tight and tense from being bent over working with clients, I realized I need to do something about me. My body is giving me feedback, and if I'm going to be a healer that exemplifies being well, what's that saying about me? And at the time I wasn't doing anything for myself. I didn't see the value of stretching. So I went and started to study stretching, found different stretching techniques, and kind of found the best of the best, and put them together and refined them and practiced and field tested them. And what I have today is what I'm going to share with you, stuff that I've been working on for the past few years. So for those of you who are, this is your first time, that's why I'm doing this. For those of you who are tuning in again, you'll probably get to hear the same story over and over in different ways. I'm trying to figure out different ways of sharing it, so I'm learning how to tell the story. But thank you for tuning in, and I want to just take a moment to see who's joined me. Hi, Jen. Thank you for joining. Hi, Elena. Thank you. And I look forward to your feedback. Amy. Hi. Long time no see. Hi, Jim. Thank you for tuning in. All right. So with that being said, let's begin. The first stretch we're going to do is for our feet. And this stretch is going to help stretch the plantar fascia. And this will require the use of a tool. And hopefully you have one of these around your house, a tennis ball. So for this stretch, we're going to be stretching our feet, okay? And we're going to be releasing the plantar fascia. So the first thing we're going to do first is I'm going to show you the difference it makes just by massaging and stretching out the plantar fascia in your body. And we can do this by demonstrating my flexibility by reaching for my toes. So if you reach for your toes, I'm reaching for the ground. And actually, because I've been really consistent, I actually now can knuckle the ground pretty easily now. But you can see that my arms are even, and I actually can get down pretty good. Okay, now when I do, we'll do the right side first. When I stretch the right side, massage my right foot, the length of my arm will change. And I'll explain why. So let's begin. And for those of you who are Apple Watch users, this is a great way to fill your exercise ring. There's a yoga setting, so you can count this as your yoga. And you can fill up your exercise ring. Okay, and then I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute. All of these stretches, we're going to do 1 minute per side. Okay, so you step on the ball, and you massage back and forth. Go back and forth. You want to really lean into the ball. Put your weight into it. You want to feel that ball squeeze. Okay, and if this is your first time, you're probably going to find some trigger points. It's probably going to hurt, and that's okay. Because that's where the stress and the tension has built up in your nervous system, in the fascia of your foot. And so it's like, I like to call them unconscious wounds. They're parts of your nervous system where the sensory side has gone off balance. And so by pressing it and by massaging it, we're actually equilibrating the sensory side of the nervous system. Okay, so you're going to go back and forth. You go to the ball of your foot, all the way to the back. Slowly back and forth. You want to lean in and really feel it sink in. Okay, and again, you're going to feel some pain, and that's fine. But the more you do this, the more it's going to smooth out. Okay, so now we're done with the first minute. All right. And let me show you the difference it makes. Okay, so just reaching down, you can see my right hand, my right arm has lengthened. Okay, you can see the difference in the hands, and if I do that, okay, and as I reach down this side, the back of my leg feels looser too. So what happened is the fascia, which is connected here through my calf, back of the knee, hamstring, right through my glute, all the way up my back, and all the way up to my shoulder. Just releasing the tension down here has created a lengthening effect. And that's why there's a difference in my arm length. Okay? You see that. So again, that can just change in 1 day. Because the last time I did this stretch was yesterday around this time. Okay, so let's do the other side. Okay, so you want to step on the ball, go back and forth. All the way up to the ball of the foot. Back and forth. And again, you're going to feel the trigger points. And it's probably going to hurt if this is your first time. For those of you who are doing this again, take some time to notice what's different from the first time you did. Okay, so we go back and forth. Back and forth. Okay, all the way up to the ball of your foot. And all the way back towards the front part of the heel. And again, put your weight into it. You're going to feel the tennis ball squeeze. Now, the tennis ball is a preferred ball because it gives. I don't recommend using a golf ball because it doesn't give. It's too hard. You could use a racket ball. You could use, if you want something a little harder, maybe a ping pong ball. I saw someone else recommend that. I haven't had the chance to try it myself, so I'll get around to ordering it sometime soon. Okay, so that's the first minute. All right, now let's reach for my toes again. Okay, you can see they're even. I can more easily knuckle. Actually, I can now put my palms on the ground. My legs feel looser. All right, so this is pretty cool. And again, simple tennis ball. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the next stretch. Okay, the next stretch that I like to do in this sequence is the quads. Now the quads, they do a lot for us. We take them for granted. And they get very tense over time because of all the standing we do, all the walking we do, running, and they can even get tense sitting. And one of the most common problems, one of the most common symptoms that I see in my practice is lower back pain. And lower back pain actually has a lot to do with the quads. So whenever a client comes in with lower back pain, I've learned over the years to check their quads first. And as soon as they lay it on the table and I say, okay, I'm going to check your quads and it's probably going to hurt, when I apply some pressure right along the side or right along the inside, they want to jump off the table. And it's like, oh my God, that was so painful. And why their back is hurting is because the quads have gotten so tight and so loaded that when they're standing, their legs aren't holding them up properly. So then their body actually knows that the legs aren't working as well, and so the back is actually tightening up in response to that. Because one of the other complaints is that when clients are going through a back pain episode, is they have trouble getting out of bed. So just getting out of bed, you actually need your quads working to get up and stand up. Or the other complaint is, trying to bend over and touch your toes. You need your quads working in order to hold your upper body up in order to be safe to bend over. So if the quads are overloaded, that's going to be a problem. And the thing is, the quads do a lot of work and they don't complain. It's the back that complains. But the back is being the messenger. The back gets shot because we don't understand what the back is trying to tell us. We weren't shipped with a manual. So anyway, the tension that builds up in the quads is very important for your back and also important for the function of your legs, even for knees. So how do we stretch the quads? Okay, so it looks like this, and you've probably done this at some point in your life, but I do it a little differently. So we're going to use this couch. So you want to find the couch or a bed, and you're going to lay on your side like this. Okay, and then you pull your leg back and use the backing of the couch to hold your leg. This way you're not straining your arm. Your arm is free, and then you're not straining your other leg. And you can really lean into and take advantage of an inanimate object. This won't get tired. If anything, you need to save your energy for breathing through this because it's probably going to be pretty intense. So go ahead, lay on your side, and if you're having trouble, if you're not as flexible, you got to give yourself more room. So a couch may be too narrow. You might want to just be on the floor on some carpet, put a yoga mat down, or be on your bed, and you can use the wall. Okay, so you pull your leg back, you lean forward like this, and you're going to feel a nice stretch. Okay, and let's do it for 1 minute. And while you're doing this, you want to work on your breathing. Because what we're doing is we're trying to get your brain and your nervous system and your body more regulated. Something I learned from my dear colleague Lisa Dion, practicing self-regulation. The more we can get our brain and our nervous system regulated, our body regulated, it helps to center us. It actually gets our brain function. We can manipulate our brain function through breathing, through centering. So we want to be able to feel the pain, acknowledge it, lean into it, and breathe through it. And that's how we get calm. Not running from your pain. It's actually facing it, leaning into it, breathing through it. And then actually get your brain out of being run by the amygdala and get you back into the prefrontal cortex. A little bit of brain science there. And then that helps with immunity, because if you're highly stressed, that runs your immunity down. Okay, now you can also stretch and reach. This will actually add more stretch because everything's connected through fascia. If you stretch and reach, you can really get a nice stretch, and you'll feel it right through the arm, right through your front side of your body. Okay, so now let's switch sides. Again, lay on your side, and let me do this demo with what it looks like. We're just against the wall. So imagine this is a bed, and this is the wall. You can go right up against the wall. Pull your foot up against the wall like that. Okay, let me set clock for 1 minute. And then you can add additional stretch by reaching. Again, this is going to add additional pull. This will pull through the fascia. So we're getting a pull this way and a pull up this way. So it's like stretching at both ends. And then you want to work on your breathing. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay. All right. Ease out of that. And so after we do the stretches for my clients, I go recheck their legs, and when I press on them, they go, "Oh wow." And I say, "This is the same pressure we were using earlier." They go, "Oh wow." And what we did was we changed the balance of the sensory nerves in the skin and the nervous system and the tissues in the fascia. That can be changed. We actually have, I learned from one of my mentors, we have control over our perceptions. So we can change it through stretching, we can change it through breathing, we can change it through manual work, we can change it through asking questions. So we actually have control over three things: our perceptions, our decisions, and our actions. And if you master your perceptions, and there's different ways of going about it, this is one of the ways, it helps the other two, because again, your decisions are going to be based on how you're perceiving things. The more you're perceiving things in a balanced way, your brain is going to be less in the back of the brain, being run by the amygdala, and more in the front of the brain, more in the prefrontal cortex. You get to make wiser decisions. So you have wiser decisions and wiser actions. And your results will show. So anything you can do to get more aligned and centered and present, and this is one way to do it. We'll talk about others in the coming days and weeks. But this is what you can do, at least for yourself right now. Okay. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge who's watching. Hi, Cherie. Hello, May. Hello, Brian. Thank you. Hi, Cheryl. Thank you for joining me. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Don. Hey, Tanya. Long time no see. Hi, Dana. Now, Elena, I see your question. You can do that at least once per day. You can do it more. So 2 to 3 times a day is great. But at least once. Better than none. Okay. Hi, Corey. Thank you for joining, and make sure you remind your dad to do his stretches. You two can do it together. All right. So we did the quads. Now we're going to do the hamstrings, okay, the back of the legs. All right, so we're going to go over to the wall over here. So let me adjust the camera. All right. So I'm going to show you how to do it barefooted, since I'm barefooted right now. So if you're barefooted, you want to make sure you're protecting your heel, because we're going to use this wall. So you either want to have a wall, a blank wall, or you could use, if you don't have a blank wall, use a door. Okay, so let me do the door first. So I have this pad. It's a rubber pad to protect my heel, but you could also use a rubber slipper. Next time I'll have a rubber slipper available. In fact, actually, I do have a rubber slipper. There we go. Rubber slipper. So let's do it this way. Since Hawaii is the land of the rubber slippers. The rubber slippers. Okay, so we're going to put our foot up against the wall. So it's in a dorsiflex position. We're doing the right leg, so the knee is locked. You want to have a nice wide, deep stance. This out of the way. Okay, and then this So the right leg, the one that's against the wall, the knee is locked. The other leg, the knee is going to be slightly bent, and then so my left foot, I'm on the ball of my foot. Okay. Yeah. Again, you want to have a nice wide, deep stance. So actually, if we look at it from here, make sure you're not too narrow. Make sure it's nice and wide, and you've got some depth to it. Okay. And you want to lean towards the wall, lean towards your foot, and keeping your right knee locked. And then as you lean forward, you're going to feel the calf stretch. You're going to feel a stretch into behind the knee, and you're going to feel the stretch in the hamstring. Okay, so you lean towards the wall and the leg. You want to make sure your weight is forward. You want the back leg, there's just a little bit of, you're just balancing on it. Okay, you want to make sure your weight is biased forward, and that triggers the stretch. And then you put your hands up above, and you push and lean in. Okay, let me get my timer started. Okay, push and lean in. And you're going to feel the stretch right through the calf, through the back of the knee, right up the hamstring. Okay, and you have your hands up against the wall. Get them high enough so that as you lean in, it's actually going to start to stretch your arms and your shoulder. So you get a nice little shoulder stretch while you're stretching your lower body. And we do have a stretch specifically for the shoulders, but why not get some extra stretch anyway? Okay, and then again, breathe in and breathe out. Feel the tension, becoming conscious in the calf and the back of the knee and the hamstrings. You also feel the tension in the shoulders. And again, you're breathing into it, breathing out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, that's 1 minute. Stop the timer. Okay, and then actually let me show you, doing that created another difference in the arm length again. Yeah. So I really can palm the floor now, better than this side. Yeah, there's more ease with that, and then also less tension. So again, the loosening of the tension in the back of my right leg is also lengthening, reducing the drag on my shoulder. So now let's do it the other way. And for those of you who wear shoes indoors, this is the way you can do it with shoes. So again, that'll protect the heel. So you put your foot up against the wall. Make sure you have a nice wide, deep stance. Okay. Again, lean towards the wall. Get my timer started. As you lean in towards the wall, you're going to feel the stretch. Go right up the back of the calf, through the back of the knee, and the hamstring. Now, this is a great way to actually relieve knee pain, especially if you feel knee pain when you're bending your knee. And because the tension that affects the knee, and you feel it as knee pain, the tension is actually accumulating in the back of the knee. When I check the back of the knee, that's where the trigger points are. So we're stretching right through that area. We're opening up the popliteal fossa, relieving the tension around the popliteal nerve. Again, it helps the knee to function more smoothly. And then if you have tight calves or tight hamstrings, this is a great stretch for them. And by putting your arms above your head and pushing and leaning into it, it helps release some tension in the shoulders. So if you're really pressed for time, but you want to get in a quick stretch, this would be a good one to do for your lower body and your upper body. It does quite a bit. This one's probably the closest to a total body stretch. You have to pick one. Okay. So now let's check on my flexibility. Okay, hands are even again. Now I can really palm the floor. Yep. Yep. Pretty cool. Right on. All right. Now let's see who's... Hi, Constance. Great to see you. Hi, Linda. Thank you for joining. All right. So that was the hamstring, calf, back of the knee stretch. A very sexy name. Okay. Now we're going to go back to the couch. And now we're going to work on our glutes. Okay? Now the glutes and the piriformis, this is where a lot of tension builds up, especially if we've been sitting on our okoles, as we say in Hawaii, for long periods of time. And if you have any pain in the butt, or also known as sciatica or piriformis syndrome, right in here is where it builds up. So when I work with my clients and they come in with, they complain of pain here, I check, this is where they go, ah. So we have a stretch for them. So now there's two ways to do it. So this is the piriformis and glute stretch. All right, so the first way we can do it is you can do it sitting. So this is probably the most convenient way of doing it, because if you were still at your office, this is the one you'd want to do at the office, but since you're at home, you got some options. But anyway, put your foot, we're going to do the right side, you put your right leg over the left, cross your legs like that, and we've all done this, but the twist is we actually lean forward into it. So as you lean forward into it, you're going to feel the stretch right in the piriformis and the glute area. Okay, so let's set the timer. 1 minute. Lean forward. Okay, and you want to breathe in, breathe out. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. And while you're doing this one, contemplate, get really present with the pain, because that actually helps relieve it as you breathe through it instead of trying to run for it. But you also can practice the mind-body connection. You can actually start to become conscious of what you're perceiving as a pain in the butt. You probably heard that term. Oh, he's a pain in the ass. Oh, it's a pain in the butt. So you can actually notice what comes up. What's a pain in the butt? What are you feeling distressed about? And that actually helps to relieve the pain, and also gives you some guidance on what to focus on. So if you've been avoiding something, it's going to end up storing somewhere in your body, and often our language somatizes it in certain parts of the body. We end up somatizing, so meaning if we don't know how to deal with it, it goes unconscious and it goes somewhere in the body, and often it's going to be tied to the language. Okay, so you can actually become conscious of some challenges or issues that you're not quite dealing with, and if you start to tackle them, you actually take some action or do whatever you need to do to solve it, get help, more often than not, the pain will relieve itself because your body's giving you feedback. Okay, so now we're going to do the left side. Okay, so you put your left leg over your right leg, and reset my clock. I'm going to lean forward. Okay, so probably I'm noticing that my left side's a little more restricted. Now, the left side of the body is the feminine side, the right side is the masculine side. So if there's any challenges with any females, it'll tend to show on the left side, the feminine side. If there's any challenges with the male or masculine, it tends to show up on the right side. So if anything, there's probably some challenges with females. Not currently experiencing any challenges with my wife at the moment. However, this could be old stuff. So I know Elena, one of my good dear friends, picked up on some feminine challenges in my language. She's actually really good at teasing that out. So I'll get to work on that after this. Yeah, definitely feeling it right over here. So I'll share with you all tomorrow or later in the week as I find out what that is. Okay, so that was the left side, and this is the way you can do it sitting. Now let me show you how you can do it lying down. And before I do that, let me welcome Kosi. Thank you for joining. Hi, Darren. Long time no see. Okay, yeah. So check Constance. You can see what where your challenges with any females or with the feminine are. And I'll actually I'll explain. I'll put a note in the chat about what some of the areas to look on the feminine and what are some of the areas to look on the masculine are. Okay, so how do we do it lying down? Okay, so basically the same as sitting, but you're lying, and then instead of just leaning forward, you actually have to pull your legs towards you and use your arms and pull towards your upper body. Okay? So let's do this one for just 30 seconds instead. Okay, now what's interesting is that if I'm lying down, I actually can go, I feel like I can go deeper. Whereas if I was sitting, I had a harder time. So I'm going to go explore that. I'll be working with my DiMartini facilitator buddy, Shelby. We're going to go explore that. It's interesting. Definitely tune in tomorrow and I'll share what I learned. So, to be continued on that. Okay, then let me show you the right side. Again, you put your right leg over your left, pull with your legs. So you want to pull with your legs and pull with your arms. And you're going to again feel the stretch. Okay, we'll wait for a few more seconds. All right. So that's the glute and the piriformis stretch. Great way to loosen up your butt. So your butt will actually feel lighter. It won't be actually smaller. That's nutrition. But you'll definitely feel light. And this also does help with the back. And it just helps with your overall well-being. Because our glutes are one of the largest muscles in our body. So it can store a lot of tension. So it's wise to show your booty some love. So now we're going to move up to the upper body. Now the upper body, our shoulders, are where most of our tension stores. And when I work with my massage clients, right over here is where they feel the most pain. And it's right in the rotator cuff area, so which is the teres, the supraspinatus and infraspinatus, and where the lats all intersect. And so this is the area where there's the most pain. And for those of you who probably do self-massage, that's probably the part that hurts the most. So when I find that with my clients and I press on them and they go, I say, okay, let's stand up and let's do a stretch. And actually this is one of my newest stretches and one of my favorites at the moment. I like when I come up with something new, I have fun with it. And this also looks like a stretch you may have done before, but we add a little twist to it. So we're going to do the left side first, and you're going to take your left arm, bend the elbow, and you're going to pull. So this looks like a tricep stretch, but the difference is we're actually going to really pull it, and we're going to lean at the same time. Okay, so you're going to pull and lean, and you're going to really feel the stretch go down the tricep and right through the rotator cuff area. So let me set my timer. Do this for a minute. Okay, pull and lean, and then make sure you have a nice wide stance. Lean to the right. Really pull and lean.
Okay, now this one, you may feel your hand go numb or your hand get all tingly, and that's fine, because actually the nerves that go into your hand run right through that area. So if you're actually having any tingling or numbness in your fingers when you're not doing this, it's because tension is actually accumulated in that area. So this is a great way to start to release all the tension that's accumulated. And that's tension from just, sticking our arms out in front of us, typing at the computer, using the mouse, being on our phones, driving, all the things that we use our arms for, and we take our certain parts of our body for granted. This is where we can show some love, do some self-care. Okay. So you're going to be pulling and leaning, breathing in and breathing out. Okay. Now we're going to ease out of it. It's going to be feeling a little sore, maybe a little weak, coming out of it. Just take your time, be gentle with yourself. Go ahead and shake it out. Okay. And again, you'll notice that the shoulder will feel a lot lighter, because again, we're releasing a lot of the tension that stores back there and on the inside. Okay, so now let's do the other side. So we're going to do my right side. Okay, so we're going to bend your elbow. Pull to the left, reset the clock. Okay, we're going to lean, pull and lean, pull and lean. Okay, deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Again, if your arm feels tingly, your hand feels tingly, that's fine. There's definitely more tingles on the left side, so again, gotta go find some old emotional baggage around on the feminine. Go work on that today. All right. And you ease out of it. Okay, go ahead and shake it out a bit. Roll your shoulders. Just take a few deep breaths. And then I've been taking pictures of my posture, showing the difference it makes. So this will be the third or the fourth time that I'm taking a picture. So I will do my pictures on Thursday, and because I started a few Thursdays ago, and I'll post it. So I'll definitely post it in the chats of all the past live streams, so you can see the difference. Okay, so let's see who's on. Hi Romulatus. Hi Anahisa. Thank you for joining. Hi Richard. Yes, Selena, I am. It's actually finding a way to put the two together. Okay. So now we're going to do one more stretch. This is the last stretch for today, and we're going to go back to the wall. So let's go back to the wall. Okay. All right. So here's the wall, and actually Elena and Rick. This is another wall. Inside joke for Sci Seminars grads. So for this wall, this shoulder stretch is going to be the what I like to call the shoulder scapula lift. So we're gonna put our hands up against the wall, about eye level, face level, and you want to stand about arm's length away. Have a nice shoulder width stance. And we're going to push and lean in and make sure we're anchored into the wall. And as we push and lean in, we're lifting our arms, stretching our arms, and lifting our shoulders. And so what this does is it creates a pull and a lift. So actually it lifts the scapula up and back. And because we're leaning down, it's actually opening up. It's actually opening up the scapula. So we're actually getting all the tension that's underneath the shoulder blade. It's actually opening it up. That's the stuff we can't get to. So we have to get to it indirectly by lifting it and stretching it. Okay, so let me demonstrate, and I'll do it from 2 angles so you can see. Okay, so let's do 1 minute. Push and lean in. Elbow slightly bent, knee slightly bent. Push and lean in, and just let your body hang. It's like we're hanging off the wall. Push and lean in. Creating a nice lift. What you also can do is kind of move your scapula, kind of lift your scapula. Yeah, you squeeze your back muscles, your shoulder muscles, go back and forth. Okay, that'll be easier to see from this angle, so let me do it from this angle. Okay, hands up on the wall, push and lean in. Again, you want to surrender to the stretch. Just let your body go. Allow yourself to feel the pain and the tension that's been soaring. Okay, and then you want to move your scapula back and forth. It's kind of like you're massaging your own shoulders. Ease out of that. All right, and so that's the scapula and shoulder lift. Okay, so let's go back to that part. And so let's just check in. For those of you who've been doing your stretches, I'd love to hear, post a comment and see how you've been feeling. If this is your first time, what stretch was, which stretch did you like the most? What stretch did you have the most pain in? For those of you who have been doing these stretches regularly so far, I'd love to hear about what's making the most difference for you. Now, to review, we'll summarize the stretches. The first one we did today was for the feet, to stretch the feet. So again, 1 minute per side. Make sure you lean into the ball. 1 minute to side, lean in, back and forth. Okay, so that's 2 minutes right there. Then we did our quads. Again, we laid on our side, putting your leg up against either the back of the couch or the wall. Okay, you can reach up for a minute. Okay, you do that on each side, so that's 4 minutes of your time. Then we did the hamstring, calf, shoulder stretch, like so. Knee locked, nice wide deep stance, hands up against the wall like this. Okay, again 1 minute per side, so that's 6 minutes. Then we go back to the couch. We're gonna do our glutes. Okay, we can do it sitting. So again, cross the leg, lean forward, Oh, actually my left side feels better now. Right side. Okay, so you can do it sitting, or you can do it on your back. Pull this way. So again, you pull your legs and pull with your arms. Cross your leg, pull with your legs, pull with your arms. And now we move up to the shoulders. Okay, you bend your elbow, pull with the other side, lean. And again, this is looks like a tricep stretch, but the twist on it is leaning. A nice wide stance. 1 minute per side. Lean. 1 minute per side. Okay. And then the final stretch is, again, we go back to the wall. And we do the shoulder scapula lift stretch. Put your hands up on the wall. Push in and lean in. Okay, and you do that for a minute. Now, 1 minute's the sweet spot. Gives you the most return for time. But if you do have extra time and you want to go deeper, yeah, you can do 90 seconds. You can do 2 minutes if you like. But you know, if you do the first two stretches, so that's 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. So it's about 10 minutes of time, maybe 11, 12. With the transitions, not much time. But again, if you do it daily and you do it consistently, your flexibility improves. So again, earlier, many of you might be here, but then you'll start to get a little closer, and then you can start to knuckle the floor, palm the floor, and then already my hip flexibility improved, and so that was the physical way of going about it. I'll go explore the emotional. So if you want to find out what that is, you're gonna have to come back tomorrow. So that's my stretches. So, again, we've been given the gift of time. And so, this is a time to, again, refocus on priorities. Because, again, the agenda has changed. Paradigms are changing. Things are changing. Life is not going to be the same again. This is the beginning of a new world. And yes, it can be a little scary. So what we need to do now is to take care of ourselves. The more we can take care of ourselves, the more we can deal with change, the more we can adapt. Stress or distress is the inability to adapt to a change. So again, we can't make the stress go away, but what we can do is we can actually work on ourselves. So work on how we're handling it, our relationship with it. And again, our perceptions. We have control over three things: our perceptions, our decisions, and our actions. So doing self-care, stretching, what I've shown you today, is another way to, again, help your nervous system to be calmer and more centered, so you can manage your perceptions more masterfully, and then you're going to make wiser decisions and wiser actions out of it. And so again, this is the time for self-care, so make sure you're getting your rest. Again, a lot of the individuals who are getting the coronavirus and having acute symptoms are the ones that were neglecting themselves, because they were already had pre-existing conditions, and they tended to be older, so they've had lots of baggage and lots of not taking care of themselves, because again, they weren't dealing with their stresses, they weren't dealing with challenges in their lifestyle, they weren't dealing with their emotions, they weren't taking care of themselves physically. So they're vulnerable. So again, take the time to take care of yourself. Get 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Make sure you're drinking lots of water. So watch out for the sugary drinks. Watch out for sugars in your drink. That actually compromises your immune system. And again, if you're using sweets to run from your pain, again, you're just contributing to the rundown of your immune system. So more water. So 3 to 4 liters of water. Make sure you're eating moderately. Again, watch your sugars in your foods. Okay, make sure you're eating moderately and try to eat as healthy as you can, given the circumstances. And again, if you're doing your stretches and you're taking care of yourself and doing the other things, you tend to eat more moderately. Make sure you're focusing on getting some movement. Okay, not too much, not too little. So again, this will count as your movement. So this will be one of the things you can do. And again, Apple Watch users, you can count this as your yoga to help fill your exercise ring. Make sure you're Also focusing on priority. So again, priorities are changing. So again, ask the question, how is the change in priority? How is, what you're being asked to do now benefiting, serving, and fulfilling you? What are the benefits in it? The benefits are there if you look. Okay? Most people like to just focus on the pain, which is the easy thing to do in the short term, but costs you in the long term. So if you take the time to actually start looking for the benefits, it also helps to bring calm to the mind, balance to the mind, balance to the body. Because again, the answers are there. They're just unconscious. The pain in your body are all unconscious benefits. They're all the other side of things you're ignoring. So if you look for them and do it, you'll find that, again, the situation changes because how you're perceiving the world changes. You change. Because we don't have control over the outside, but we have control on how we perceive it. And then, again, make sure you're managing your thinking and your perceptions and your emotions. So this is just one way. We'll talk about more ways, but if you already want to look at, one of the masters at it, go check out Dr. John DeMartini. He's someone that I've studied with a long time. So I've been using some of his principles in the work here. We'll talk about it more in the coming days and weeks, but go look him up. He's actually one of the experts you want to pay attention to. So definitely check him out. And he's doing some great posts and great shares through this crisis. Okay, so I want to thank all of you who joined me. Let me acknowledge a few other people. Hi, Randy. Hi, Chris. Hi, Dana. Hi, John. Thank you for joining. Definitely watch the replay. I went through a lot of stretches, so check them out. If you like what you're seeing, please leave a like. Again, tell me which stretches you like the best, which one you're struggling with. What are some of the changes? If you want to, I'm going to be doing this daily around 12:15 approximately. And if you want to be notified of when I go live, please hit the notification. There's the 3 dots in the corner of the post, and you can set notifications. And I'll also post a link on what that actually looks like if you want to see what it looks like. But thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And again, we're not alone, and this is the opportunity. One of the benefits of this challenge is that I'm getting to, do this daily. I actually have the time because I had to, shut down my massage practice. But I at least can be able to still be of service, take care of myself, help you to take care of yourselves. And again, by taking care of ourselves and taking care of each other, we will get through this and come out stronger the other end. So thank you for joining me. It's been an honor and privilege, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.